Well, hello everyone, and welcome to why New Year's resolutions fail and what you can do to not let this happen to you. I'm excited to have you on. If you're listening to this live, awesome, welcome tonight. If you're not, awesome to check out the recording. Tonight is going to be a fun one. We're going to be diving into a lot of concepts of New Year's resolutions, why they fail, why I don't even like the word resolutions. More or less, a plan is more of what I like to focus on. But we're going to just dive into what is the real aspect of how many people fail, but then how do people not fail? And how do I teach to share the three things that you can do, and you can apply this in any aspect of your life, and how you can do these three things, and it can help you in the process to achieving what it is you desire. So let's begin. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result, right? We've all been there. If you want to be real and honest, we've all been there. And how many people in life are doing this every single day of their life? They wake up and hope that Monday morning's going to be the same thing, but what ends up happening is they do the same stuff over and over, thinking they're going to have a different expectation. It doesn't happen. Or New Year's resolutions, right? New Year's coming. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to be. This is how I'm going to feel. This is the things we're going to do. And then all of a sudden, January, hitting there, not too much. And then February, boom, not doing it anymore. And then the next year, they don't do anything for the rest of the year. And then next year comes around, and it's the same old story, same old stuff, doing it over and over again and not getting different results. This is pure insanity. And people live this way constantly. I mean, I see it in so many different aspects. And it's looking at it from another way of saying, okay, well, maybe you have to try something different. Maybe different as in the way of mindset. Maybe different as the way you see things. Maybe different from there. Because this is the insanity wheel, as I like to call it. The hamster wheel that just keeps going and going and going. I call it the insanity wheel. And the reason why is because I want you to think of this. Have you ever had a car that you didn't like, but it got you from point A to point B and you're happy with that? And then you finally had the moment where you can buy a new car. And you did that. And you're all excited. It has that fresh smell, that new car smell, the way everything just feels nice, and you can tell it's all new. If you have leather in there, it's nice and tight and it's not loose and all this great stuff, right? But about 3-4 months down the road, you're like, yeah, it's a nice car. I like it, but it just gets me from point A to point B. And that's what really matters. Right? How many people have been there? Or in other areas of your life like that? Because here's the thing. If you have the same mind and you go buy a new car, you're going to have the same experience. If you have the same mind and you go into a new relationship, you're going to have the same experience. If you start a new job with the same mind, you're going to have the same experience. People do this day in and day out. It's pure insanity. Okay? I'm here to break you out of that cycle. I'm here to help you share something a little different. That's what we're going to be going through tonight and talking about this thing called New Year's resolutions. Here's the truth. There was research done by Psychology of Business looking at the failure rate, how many people have when it comes to New Year's resolutions. What do you think that is? How many people fail at their New Year's resolutions? Is it 10%, 20, 30, 50, 53.725, 80, 90, 100? Where would you think New Year's resolutions fail at? Based upon the Psychology of Business in 2017, it's at 92%, which I found very interesting because there was a study. I've done programs like this before, and I did a study in 2013. Looked that one up really quick, and it was 92%. So then the question becomes, man, that's a lot. If you think about it, 92 out of 100 people fail at their New Year's resolutions. Completely fail. And why? Why do you think this happens, right? This gets me to look like this pug, tilt my head, a little bit of a tilt. Pugs are cute little dogs. I had a puggle at one time, and I loved when he made this little neck thing when he was like trying to figure out what are you saying. So why does this happen? Well, there's a lot of reasons why. I'm going to go through a little bit of a laundry list here, but before I do, the biggest one that I wanted to share right off the bat, that I personally believe, based on my experiences, is commitment, because the rest are all just a commitment issue. Commitment in anything in life is the biggest reason if you succeed or fail. As being a chiropractor for over years, I've realized the people who have the best results, the people who get to hit those miracle results and really have life transformational experiences, they were committed. The ones that don't get it. If you're committed from day one walking in the office and you're committed to the care plan that's been laid out for you, people who do that, man, they have amazing results. They become one of our raving fan of chiropractic because they committed. It's funny? The ones who don't become a raving fan, don't see all the things that chiropractic can bring to them, it's because they weren't committed. And I see this time and time again. And in life, it's the same thing. I do coaching for entrepreneurs, and I see it in that level too. How committed are they really? How committed are they really to do the things they need to do to get where they need to go? When it comes to your New Year's resolutions, it's the same concept. How much were you committed? These 92%ers that fail, they weren't committed. They weren't committed to what was going to show up. They weren't committed to what the work they had to do. They weren't committed to doing the work they needed to do to achieve the things that they wanted to achieve. It was just like, oh, I want to lose 30 pounds. Great, that's what I want to do. I'm going to do it. Oh my God, I'm going to feel so much better. And they went through this whole process of going through that. But they weren't committed to the work it takes to do that, right? If you see someone who's physically in good shape, they didn't get there out of luck. That's very rare. The older you get, that chance goes down even more. What ends up happening is they do something. There's a process that they follow. There's a system that they go through that helps them be in shape. They're not going to be someone that works out maybe once or twice every month if they're in really good physical shape. I bet you it's 3 times a week, 4 times a week, maybe 5. I bet you the nutrition's pretty on page 2. And so you start to see there's a system in place. They're committed to it. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't like working out. It's not fun for me. It is. The only thing I do enjoy is if I'm really like aggravated, frustrated, upset in some way. Boy, do I love moving weight. I'll go and lift some heavy weight. And I'm done. When I'm exhausted at the end of that workout, I feel good. I have a mental clarity. So those are times where I enjoy it. But for the most part, when I don't have that, which is not often when I get upset, I don't enjoy working out. But what I do is I do the work anyhow because I'm committed to my health and I'm committed to me to being the best version. And so my commitment level is really high, and that's why I don't fail at it much. Same thing for New Year's resolutions. Same things for everything when it comes into life. If you're not committed, you don't get the results. And that's the biggest thing that I can hammer, because everything I'm going to go down the path from here is, I believe, is just a reflection of lack of commitment. The next one is procrastination, right? How many people procrastinate? We are master procrastinators. We do it all the time. We procrastinate on every little thing that comes into our life. Some way or shape or form we do. There's things that we will do. If you don't think so, write a to-do list and let me know the ones you don't get to. And what's funny about that is those are the ones you don't like to do, so you procrastinate. We don't find time for the things we don't enjoy. That's procrastination. So not being, again, committed to the things you need to do. And procrastination plays a huge role. Procrastination is a dream killer. And so when you look at procrastination when it comes to New Year's resolutions, hence now you see why it makes that 92% rule. How about extremely lofty goals? Let's say you want to, be in the best shape of your life in 6 months, and you're overweight. We have work to do to get, you have the work to do to get through all that. And you're like, 6 months, I'm going to be in prime shape. Okay, that could happen. Not saying it won't. Here's another example. Start a business, you're going to be a millionaire in the first year. Okay, not saying that doesn't happen, but it's not very common. And it's just really putting massive goals. And what happens is that you create a massive gap of being so far away from what it is you want to achieve that the brain already says it's impossible to get there because it doesn't understand it from a big perspective. The brain only understands things from a small perspective, and you have to make it in bite-sized things. So, for example, if you want to be in the best shape of your life, maybe push the time back a little bit more. Or if you want to lose 100 pounds, break down in a year, what does that look like, and how much you have to lose per week, how many months you have to lose per month, per week, per day. And it gives you an idea of kind of making it more attainable. You want to be a millionaire in a year? Fine. Break it down. How much you have to make per month, how much you have to make per week, how much you have to make per day, how much you have to make per hour, how much you have to make per minute, so that you know if you're on pace or not on pace for that. This is where those time things come. Going at it alone, we're going to talk about some stats on that in just a minute. But, a lot of people do New Year's resolutions and they fail because they didn't have an accountability partner. They didn't have someone to join them on the journey. And so when they have that stinking thinking, the old patterns of thoughts come in, they kind of get pulled off that journey and they don't continue on it. Giving up too easily, it's another one. You have an obstacle that comes into life and you're facing something that, starts to challenge you about your vision or the goals that you want to achieve, and you just weren't that committed. So after a challenge or two, you're like, this is not for me, I'm going to do something else. And so that's one of the things that we see also. Another big one is time management, right? How many people say they don't have time for things nowadays, right? It's the biggest cop out you can ever imagine. I'm sorry, if you say that a lot, don't take offense to it. It's just me being coach, being me who I am. Because you think about it this way: Oprah Winfrey, Donald Trump, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Jay Dalio, Tony Robbins. I can go on and on and on of people who are multi-billionaires. Tony Robbins is a massive multi-millionaire, but multi-billionaires. They have the same 24 hours in a day that you do. What's the difference? It's just how you spend it. How purposeful are you in that day? What are the things you're doing every single day to really maximize your time in every day? And so one of the cool things is you take it, people just don't carve out the time. They don't do time management. They don't map the schedule. And we're going to talk a little bit about how to do that. Financial constraint, right? People have a thought process that they say, well, I can't do it right now. Financially, I'm a little strapped. Okay. But what people don't put into perspective is, what's that investment going to do for you? How's that going to help you in your life, right? How are you going to take things to that next level? And if you really take it from the perspective of, okay, maybe it's $50 a month or $100 a month, or maybe whatever, $150 a month. You're investing in you with that much. And what's those benefits that are going to come? Maybe more focus, calmer, better, more energy, better sleep, better relationships. How much is that worth? Is it worth the $100? Is it worth the $150? That's where you have to break that barrier, because a lot of people get so stuck on price and they don't focus on the benefits of what it brings to the table. And I hope that makes sense. No action plan. How many people just say they want to lose weight and they don't build a system behind how they're going to do it and create a plan and then test it out? And if it doesn't work, change it around and test it out again. This is a massive one that I see a lot. And then one of the other ones is a huge mindset one, which is called lack of belief to accomplish. There's many people out there who don't believe they can accomplish these things. They think they're stuck there. They think that they're never going to break through this pattern. And sometimes these are conscious, sometimes they're unconscious. But I tell people all the time, it's one of those things that if you can change anything in your life, you just have to focus on doing just that. And so when it comes to your life, what are you focusing on? Because if you have a limiting belief system, how long has that been there? How long have you let that exist? And however long that is, you're powerful because you were able to keep that belief system intact for that long. What if you change it? What if you start believing something different? Even if you don't believe it, just continue believing that it is. And then just wait for the universe to provide to you in ways of showing you how true that is. Just some food for thought for that. But a lot of people have limited belief systems. They don't think they're worth it. The fear of success, maybe the fear of failure. Just a couple of things that come up that indicate of where they're at in their life and how, if they can really do it or not. And this is why I wanted to share this really quick with y'all, is understanding the habits, right? How will they work? And we all have habits that either help us thrive in our life or put us in a protection survive mode. You have habits that make you grow, and they have habits that make you shrink. Habits that work for you, and then you have habits that work against you. We all have them. I have them too. A lot of people focus on how to break an old habit, but you can't break habits, really. you can only create new ones. And in the process of the new one, the old one kind of breaks away. And that's kind of like you're reinforcing things. So it takes 30 days to create a new habit. And so when it comes to your life, think about it this way. How can you go up and down at the same time on stairs? You can't. Somebody will be like, well, I could do the splits. Okay, great, but that's going to come to an end too, because you can't keep going up and down on stairs. You have to choose one. And so you have to decide when you choose something. Decide means to cut out. That means it's a Latin root word that means to cut out, which means when you make a choice, you cut out all other possibilities and you focus just on that. And so it's these new habits that you have to move forward to and create when it comes to that. Just like I said, belief systems. If you kept a belief system for 10, 15, 20 years, trust me, you're powerful enough to keep that intact. The key is now, how do you create a new one? Just like habits. You just got to create something and stick to it and believe in it and know that it's going to happen. And that can kind of break you away from that limiting belief system. But habits take 30 days to create a new habit. It takes 90 days total to make it your lifestyle. And so when it comes to your life and when it comes to creating habits, anything when it comes to a New Year's resolution, you have to give it 30 days minimum. Okay? Consistent 30 days. And then from there, then it becomes more ingrained, and now all of a sudden you start working that process and you're like, okay, now I'm starting to get a little bit of a gist of this. I'm finally getting a little bit of hang of this. And then from there we can start transforming things in that process. So I want to talk a little bit about now, just to dive in, about how to be part of the 8%, right? We hammered the heck out of the 92% because there's a lot going on there. But I wanted to share 3 things. I looked at so many things I can share for you guys, but I was trying to figure out what are 3 simple things that you can implement in your life starting today and really make 2019 one of the best years yet. And so the first one is creating a vision, focusing on your vision. Vision, how I want you to see vision of your life is like if you're driving and you're going to choose a destination to go to, and you punch it into GPS, it goes ahead and it tells you exactly how to get there, right? That's your vision, your GPS machine. It tells you exactly what to do. Now, the reason why I'm a big fan on visions, and I don't preach on goals at all, is because vision, when you set the mark and the tone of where you want to go, that's perfect. And when you keep your eye on where you want to go, if you had construction or maybe a blocked bridge or maybe accidents along the way or storms that slow things down, it doesn't really it may affect you, but it doesn't affect you too much because you know where you're going. It's just going to take a little longer, and you're like, that's fine. It's just going to take longer to get there than normal. And that's simple as it. That's it. Simple as that. Where if you don't focus on the vision, what happens is your mind starts to go short term and focus on the problem. You're driving through a storm. Oh, it's so stormy. Look at the clouds, the thunderstorm, the snow. Oh, the bridge. I can't stand how this bridge is closed. Why can't there be another bridge? And you get so short-minded that you lose the focus on vision. And that's where people fail a lot in everything in life. Business, when I do business coaching, I hammer on vision. When I do, when I work with patients, I try to grasp the vision of what it is they want to see for the life as much as I can to dive into that so that we can start to create something for them and get them focused there. Because in chiropractic, when you first start, there's ups and downs. It's not going to be a smooth road. Healing is not a smooth journey. And so it's keeping your eye on what you want to have for yourself and allow the journey to take course. Then you don't get so caught up in, well, doc, my neck really hurts today, or man, I'm really sore in my lower back, or, why is my knee bothering me all of a sudden, or I had a headache for 3 days. The thing is, we don't know really why that is. There's so many reasons behind it. But the key is don't focus short-minded. Let's go long-term. Let's focus on what you want to be, your optimal health, maximize human potential, right? That's the vision I have for every single patient that walks in my office, and I try to share that with them. Same thing when it comes to coaching, vision. It's all about, when I'm working with entrepreneurs, it's all about their vision, really hammering deep into that. So the same concept happens to you. For 2019, here's something I could share. What is the vision of how you want to see yourself in 2019, 1 year from now? December 1st, 2019, where do you want to be? How do you want to look? How do you want to feel? What are the things you want to achieve? What do you want to have in your life? Because when you focus on that vision, you start seeing it and put it in your mind's eye, it transforms things. So this is the importance of focusing on vision. And for the sake of the time of this webinar, I'm not going to dive too much deeper into it, but it's one of those things that if you really focus on your vision, you can truly transform your life. You have to see it from within your mind's eye first before the eyes can actually see it. Because the mind eyes will tell everything else, tells your eyes what to look for. So That's the power behind vision. The second thing is you have to create and map out a schedule. You have to carve time. You have to create a plan for success. And what is it that you're going to do? So if you want to get in the best shape of your life, okay, how many days a week you're going to be working out? What times you're going to be working out during those days? How much do you have to get up a little earlier so you can make sure you get the workouts in? You have to map things out in every specific way. If it comes to eating, how much time you're going to spend on eating? What types of food? Are you going to do meal planning? And if you are, what days are you going to do meal planning? I meal plan on Sundays for the most part. It's about 2 to 3 hours of what I do. Some people think that's nuts, but I look at them and say, yeah, but if I spend a half hour every time making a meal, give or take, lunch and dinner, so you figure that's an hour. If I meal prep for 3, and it takes me 10 minutes max to cook, right? So 20 minutes instead of an hour, I got 40 minutes I'm saving a day. Multiply that by 7, it's 280. Multiply that by a month, you get the point. That's going to be a little over, I don't even know, 4 days, give or take, I save in cooking time. And so in a whole month, a year, I save about a total of almost 50 days I get back. Isn't that crazy, the numbers, how that works? So it's really about how do I map and create a schedule to really allow me to take things to that next level, allow me to create a plan of success. And you have to create a plan. You have to put the time in. You got to map it out because the only thing you can control is your time and what you spend on. The one thing you can't control is the circumstances of life or what's going to come your way. The universe always knows best, so it's just knowing how you can map out your time frame and how you're going to achieve those goals and doing it in a system, in a place to where it's going to allow you to achieve just that. And this works in anything in life. You create a vision for your business. You got to map out how much time you're going to work on the business, on the business and in the business. And you have to do all these type of situations to know exactly where you're going to be. The same happens in every single facet. If you want to have a better marriage, well, you're going to have to carve times of when you have date nights. You're going to have carved times of when you're going to have time to spend every single day and so much more. You got to map that out, build the success. When you come to having time with your kids, you got to map that out. What times you're going to spend time with the kids in the morning, what time you have to spend kids in the evening, what are you going to do during the weekends. You got to map these things out, and so that you have somewhat of a plan and an idea, and it creates better success. Because the people who fail to plan, they plan to fail. And so you have to really remember that. To people who fail to plan to fail. And that's why 92% of people fail resolutions, because they don't put out a nice long plan. The key for you is to create that plan in some shape or form and truly utilize it and stick to it as much as possible. It may have to change along the way, and that's fine. Life changes. Nothing stays the same. So it's understanding that things are always in a constant flux, a constant change really helps you in that journey and that process. So that is the importance of creating and mapping out your schedule. So when you're creating your vision, you want to map out how you're going to achieve that and how you're going to be the best in 2019, right? You look a year ahead. Where do you want to be? Okay, map out 12 months. Look at how that's going to happen. What do you got to do every week? What do you got to do every day? It kind of makes it a little easier. Map it out. Trust me, it takes time to do that, but you save a massive amount of time in the long run. Just like I said, 40-something days I was saving a year for meal planning. The last one is to get a partner to join you. This is all about accountability partners, and I can't tell you how important this is because accountability partners are crucial. I told you that 40 people who fail sometimes 92% of the time is because they don't have someone to do it with. They do it alone. Research shows actually 45% success rate during New Year's resolutions alone. Doing it alone. 45% of people don't fail. When it comes to it, they succeed. That's not great numbers. 45 out of 100, that's not a lot. I'd rather go with this number. This is not in New Year's resolutions, by the way, this number. It's just in general in life. You have a success rate of 95% when you have an accountability partner. 95%. So what number you want to play? 45% or 95%? When it came to writing my book, I remember I did a recording in November. It didn't come out well. I was recording and dictating, and the way that it transcribed did not come out properly. So I was kind of bummed because I waited a month and a half, and then I went to look at it, and I was like, oh my goodness, this isn't good. So I thought I lost all this writing time. And then I talked to my coach about it, and he was like, all right, let's put a deadline to this, and let's just make it happen. I was like, all right, let's do it. And he's like, okay, tell me. And I was like, February 15th, right? He's like, okay, done. I was like, oh, crap. Shoot, I just committed. It's like 20-something days away. And so what did I do? I set up weekends, the times I had off. I saw the projects I had to work on because I'm not going to just do this and that's it. That doesn't work. It's not fair to all the other stuff I was working on. So what I did is I just mapped out the carving at times that I can work on the book. And what I found out was I talked to my wife and I said, hey, you mind if I go to a coffee shop, Saturday, maybe Sunday, maybe Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just for an hour or two, maybe 3. I'm just going to write a chapter and I got to get this book done. And she was cool about it. She said, yeah, you do what you got to do. And I mapped it out so I didn't interfere with her schedule and me on doing things, right? Because it's not fair to her. And that's how you schedule and map out success. And so then what happened was I told my coach February 15th. And what happened was I sent him a text on February 13th and told him, done. And he's like, no way. I said, I told you I'd get it done before the 15th. And I was so committed because I mapped out my success to it and it all worked out beautifully. And that's the key of having an accountability partner. And you always want to make sure there's great things you could do. If you don't, one of the things you could do also is when it comes to accountabilities, I did this one time. I read it in a book and I just thought, I'm going to do this. I was writing a health book at one point. I thought I was going to publish it and I ended up not. Maybe down the road I'll change it up a little bit and do it, but it just I didn't feel like, I got to get this out to the world. And what it was is I had a cousin who I mastermind with. He has his couple of businesses, and I mastermind with him on it. And we would meet every week. And so long story short, I remember it was June, and I told him, hey, if I don't get the book done by August 1st, I'm going to give you $1,000. He's like, done deal. Why would he say no? And so what it did is it motivated me and inspired me to make sure I get this book done because I didn't want to give out $1,000. And so long story short, what happened was I actually got the book done a week before August 1st. How cool was that? And it was one of those things where you just had to put your energy in the right place, focus, and you had an accountability partner. So he kind of took me to that higher level. And when you have sometimes a little bit of pressure, diamond needs stress in order to be created. I mean, a diamond needs to go through a stressful process and pressure and heat in order to become that beautiful, precious gem that it becomes. And so it's kind of like life too, and it's that same perspective. So I had to have that pressure, and it worked out. That's what accountability partner brings to you. And I have multiple accountability partners in my life. My coach is one. I have friends that are others, and I just pick people to use to be my accountability partner, just like they do for me. I do for them. And we hold each other accountable to make sure that we get to the goals and achievements of where we want. So these are the 3 things you guys can do. Vision, create a game plan, have an accountability partner. It's one of the biggest things. And I was looking, there's so many other things you can do. I could write out another 12 different things, but I wanted to give you something simple. And I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. Create a vision. Go through the emotions and figure out what you want to do. Find someone, create a map of success of how you're going to do the work to get there. And then have someone join you in the process, or just have someone hold you accountable, a coach, a friend, just someone who can hold you accountable. So I wanted to talk about this program that we're doing. So if you're like, okay, great, I'm good, Doc, thank you so much, I'm going to go ahead and do the work. Good. For those who are like, man, I would love to have something a little bit more in depth, something a little further, something I can do, I created something called the Online New Year Vision Quest. And what this is a 12-week online program that starts on December 3rd. And it focuses on 3 parts. It's your mindset, we're going to challenge, and the second section, and then the third is going to get the results. This whole program is designed to overhaul your mind, body, and soul. The first month, we're going to just hammer out mindset. We're going to be hammering out getting your mind right and getting things centered and your vision clear so that we can focus on whatever it is that you desire to be in 2019. We'll make it happen. Okay, this is not just a New Year's resolution program. A lot of people think it for weight loss and so forth. There's going to be a lot more than just that. And that's one of the things we'll be really working on to really transform your mind, body, and soul. People who do this program benefit from things like this. And I want you to ask yourself, how much is it worth for you to get these type of benefits? More energy, feeling more inspired, increased focus and concentration, feeling sensation of centeredness, less anxiety and anxiousness, improved sleep, lose fat, weight loss, improve well-being, create connection with self, heal and recover faster, increased human growth hormone, feel younger. Let me take a step back here. Human growth hormone is known as the anti-aging hormone. There's a lot of people coming out with homeopathic microdosing stuff. People say to take it, it just bulks you up muscular-wise, burns fat, feel more energy, all these things. It makes you feel younger. But there's also something called biohacking that we are going to be teaching and sharing with you on how to get your numbers. For women, it's about 1,300 to 1,400% is what we can get it up to, increasing. For men, it's about 1,700 to 2,000% of what we can do to increase human growth hormone in the body naturally, on its own, not forcing a thing. And we're able to help in that process. And we'll talk a little bit about that in the program and sharing how we're going to do that. But it's one of those things that when it comes to that, how much is it worth to have all this? How much is it worth to have more energy, to feel more inspired, to have more focus and concentration? How much is it worth to have less anxiousness and anxiety? How much is it worth to improve your well-being, create connection with yourself, feel more calm? I can go on and on. It's priceless, right? And so we're going to do with the program is sharing biohacks and neurohacks. We're going to be talking about fasting principles. We're going to be talking about the ketosis concepts. We're going to talk about hormonal balancing and increasing insulin sensitivity. That's going to improve your mind, your body, and your soul. We're going to be working on all those levels, and this is what I'm going to be bringing to the program to help you get these benefits. And I'm going to make sure we get them. Now, everyone may have some different ones here and there, but the most part is knocking out as much as you can of these to really get that perspective. Because how much different are you going to show up in your life if you have this? How much different are you going to be with your family, your friends, your relationships, your business, your career, and financially, and so much more if we can help you in that process? It's astronomical. It's priceless. You can't put a price on it. I know if I have more energy, I'm going to feel more inspired. If I feel more inspired, I can definitely get more focus and concentration going on. If I have that, I have a better connection. And then all of a sudden I feel younger and better. And then when I'm feeling better, and my emotions are rocking and rolling, then my body's going to respond to that too. So it's massively, massively beneficial in so many different ways. And so that's the program I'm going to be doing, and it starts on December 3rd. It is online. It is 12 weeks. Every week you get a release of concepts, content, and so much more that you can go ahead and utilize to help you grow and expand. There'll be a little bit of a video. We're going to talk about different concepts that we're going to put together and sharing resources to help you in the process to really be masterful in the first month to get the mindset right, so that when January comes around, you're ready to do the work and we can always start grinding away on that. Now, just like anything, I want to invite you to this. There is an investment to the program, okay? The value of it's around $499. The investment for today is only $109, okay? If you're listening to the recording, the investment opportunity is available until the end of Sunday, December 2nd. You have to register by December 2nd. The reason why I'm kind of encouraging it is because we only have 3 spots left. It's a first come, first serve. The website shuts down immediately after the 3 spots are done. The link is going to be RSVP'd within the hour if you're listening to this live. If you're on the replay, you already got the email. But that is when we look at the price of the program, this is an investment, guys, $109. And here, I'm even going to put it a little further for you. In the fasting principles, if you just fast for 5 days, it covers the investment. That's it. And then we're going to share about all the benefits and tips and tools and the tricks on that. So if you're getting into the fasting principles, because you figure if it's $22 a day to go ahead and eat each day, which is a little up there, but just saying, you will be able to cover the cost of this within 5 fasting days. How cool is that? And we're going to talk all about fasting. We're going to talk about ketogenics. You're going to learn a lot about it. We're going to put practices together. You're going to create your own individual plan to help you. We're going to talk about vision. I have a survey that you'll get if you sign up, and I want to know where your vision is, where your mindset is, what do you want to achieve, what are the things you want to do, and then we're going to use those principles in the mindset to help you with that process. So if you are interested in this program, if you're like, yes, I want to definitely sign up, check out the email, the link you have sent to you. If another thing is like I said, there's only 3 spots left. I'm the type of individual where I focus more on quality than quantity. I don't determine my success by how big my bank account is. I determine my success by how many lives I transform. So when we look at that perspective, that's why I only have 3 spots left. And so I really want to be able to get those filled so that we can have a nice solid group. There is going to come like a Facebook group that we're going to have for community support. I'll be doing videos on there. There'll be content on there too to really help you with that. Once I get everybody solidified, that's what I'll be doing to get you all connected. So December 2nd, you must RSVP by in order to get into the program. Now, if you have any questions about it, anything whatsoever, please shoot me an email at drvic@visitthewellnesspath.com. I'm here to answer any questions you have to help you. Any questions with the vision, any questions you have with accountability partners, any questions when it comes to mapping any of those things out, time, schedule, those types of things too. Please just let me know. I'm here to help support and serve and really help you guys really transform and achieve the levels of life that you want to achieve. And it's really inspirational for me, and I get inspired deeply in seeing people do just that. So I appreciate you guys. I want to thank you for being here. Part of the New Year's resolutions fail. Why they do and what you can do. You guys literally learned the 3 ways of what you can apply those 3 little things: vision, time scheduling, and accountability are one of the 3 biggest things that you can do to increase the percentage to allow you to really get a higher level of potentially achieving what it is you desire when it comes to New Year planning, right? Or anything in life. So I hope you had a great insight with this. Please let me know what you thought. Please shoot me an email, or if you're a patient, I'll see you in the office. Please let me know what you thought about this, as I'm always looking to grow and expand and improve on everything I do. As always, it's a pleasure, and thank you guys for being on, and I hope you have an awesome holiday season.